Hey everyone, welcome to yet another episode of the Industry Show. I'm Nitin Bajaj, and joining us today is Anu Chadha from 3A Clothing. Hey Anu.
Hi.
Thanks for being with us today.
It's lovely to be here.
I know there was a lot going on. You just had your daughter's wedding, so congratulations.
Thank you so much. And I would say that, yes, indeed, a very, very fortunate event, and to be in San Diego.
Yes.
We had the wedding at Rancho Santa Fe and at Del Mar.
Beautiful.
So
yes.
It's been really, really fortunate and very, very happy about it.
Thanks for making time for us. And thanks also to Bridge and Bubbly for hosting us in their beautiful, beautiful home here.
Yes,
in
thank
Laguna
you so
Hills.
much. Thank you so much.
So tell us a bit about you. Where did you go to school? Where did you grow up? Your parents?
It's very nice to be very interesting to share this with all the viewers. I grew up in Delhi. I'm a Pakka Delhiite. And so my formative years, my schooling was all there. For my college, university, I went to Sacred Heart, Dalhousie. And then I got married very early, which I think we shouldn't be doing that. But I got married really early. Yeah, so that's the formative years.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did you go to school for?
Sorry?
Did you go to school for a specific, was it science, commerce?
All right. So I was I did psychology majors.
Okay.
And different from the profession I'm in today. But I think psychology, by and large, plays an important role in every sphere of life.
Yes. Especially if you're going to be an entrepreneur.
Especially if you're going to be an entrepreneur, because you hone your skills. You already know the body language of people. You can already read into them. You can understand where they're coming from, and we need to have a win-win situation. So psychology is actually there to teach you that how you can create a win-win situation and have a great business and move on.
Right. So I'm guessing you travel a lot for work and even for pleasure.
Yes, I travel a lot, and I'm very fortunate that I'm in a business which is actually doesn't feel like work, because I'm in the fashion business.
Right.
I have a company which is called 3A Clothing Company. It's based in Udyog Vihar in Gurgaon in India. And so there's a whole ecosystem of the textile trade there. So I am a contract manufacturer. We also design clothing, and we have recently opened a brand which is called Rise. It's going to be floating soon. But Rise is already selling nightwear in Walmart stores, in 27 stores in India. And we will gradually take it higher. Yeah.
So how did 3A start? What was we're starting with the name of it. Why 3A?
Yes, very interesting. 3AA started because I have two daughters, and they are both called, their names start with A.
Okay.
So decided that we should have a very unique, very creative name, and that's how 3A came into play. And
So how did it start? I mean, you obviously didn't go to school for fashion or anything. So how did you decide that I'm going to get into this business?
Yes, no, this is because, like I told you, I got married when I was very young. So, and I have two daughters, and after almost 12 years of marriage, of a very difficult marriage, which could have ended very soon, but somehow in those days, we're talking about late 80s, it wasn't easy. So
for most wasn't even an option.
It wasn't even, it felt like there was no option. That's why it took 12 years. So then when I got out of it, I had these two small children, and there was no alimony, there was nothing which I got, basically, which I can talk much about. And then I decided to do something, and fashion came into my life because my brother was already in the fashion business. So that was kind of a line which I saw was happening, though I didn't know really how to work, because I had never worked. I was always a housewife. So then I opened my own company gradually after working with him for a few years.
And you're in your mid-30s by this point?
I was in my early 30s
Early
at this
30s.
point.
Okay.
Yes.
So you thought, you know, your brother is doing this, maybe I should try my hand at it. It's something that we are familiar with.
You know, all I had at that time was a need.
Right.
You know, when you have a need which is so profound, so important,
Right.
you know, to pay the kids' school fees,
Right.
to take them higher. So I always say that success in life needs a purpose.
Yes.
So make your purpose very strong.
Right.
So in my case, it was my children. And then I was always, you know, I was good in speaking and my interpersonal skills were there. So I realized that it was easier for me to be talking to buyers, to
Right.
international people.
Yeah.
And I was fond of fashion, so it was easier for me to look at things and say, hey, this would look great,
Right.
or modify a little, or to understand the trends or interpret trends. So this was actually more inside
Got it.
me, and I felt that since I don't have an education
Right.
otherwise, but this was something which was inbuilt. So I tried to make my interest and my need as the stepping stone to success.
Got it. So did you have contract manufacturers that you would design and they would build the designs that you had? How did that work, like the initial stages?
So it's like this, that we have these overseas customers. It could be chain stores, wholesalers,
Right.
and they we keep showing them a lot of trends and a lot of pictures, a lot of different prints, embroideries. We study what's going to be trending. We share our information with them. They ask us to send the proto or something
Samples
of what
or
they
whatever,
like,
right.
and then they make changes. Then we discuss target prices.
Okay.
We show them things which will fall in their target, mean the fabrics which will
Right.
fall in their targets.
Right.
And that's how we make a collection and make sale samples, and then we make production. The contract manufacturing is done both inside and outside
Okay.
the company. We have machines, we have a
Okay.
factory, 12,000 square feet, 4 floors.
Okay.
So we do some inside and
Some
a
you
lot outside.
contract out.
Yeah.
So going back to the starting days, who was your first customer? Do you remember, and what was that transaction like?
Oh, my first customer, yes. So my first customer was actually a Danish guy.
Okay.
Yes. And I remember I was at the Bella Center. This is a fashion fair area
Okay.
in Denmark. And I met this guy, and very, very nice. And we started talking about what I do and what he does. And he wanted somebody to represent him in India.
Okay.
And he felt that, and that time I was budding. Yeah. So I told him I have the time.
Right.
And in any case, some of the well-known people would say, never say no.
Right.
Never say no. Say yes when you don't know something,
And then figure it out.
and then figure it out. So that's exactly what I did. But at that time, I hadn't heard this. This I just did from gut feeling.
Well, you had the natural instinct to
Yeah.
begin with.
And like I said, success needs a purpose. The purpose
Right.
was so strong. And then I got back and we set up, I hired a person separately for this guy, and we kind of set up a kind of a buying house for him.
Okay.
Yeah, so he was my first customer.
Got it. Nice. So from there to several years later now, give us a scale and size of the operations of 3A.
3A is a company which is creative. We come up with designs. We come up with solutions
Okay.
for the buyer. We ask mostly about, our conversation would always hinge around what is the target price of what you are wanting to buy.
Right. Because a lot of the
So once-
business here is around style and how much it's going to cost. It's a
Yes.
business, they have to make
Yeah.
money.
So once we know what they want, we also ask them, but it could even be as simple as, all right, so you're looking for, let's say, shrugs. You're looking for shrugs, which is trending a lot
Right.
these days in California also. So we would always say, all right, shrugs, yes, because we do them.
Right.
But then we do maybe, small, our price range has to be
Right.
met with yours.
Yeah.
So we want to know what are the target prices you're
Right.
looking at, so that we can propose to you fabrics We can propose to you the prints, embroideries,
volume maybe even makes a
or
difference.
and your target prices and your volume.
Right.
So then we try to show them things because we are studying trends all the time.
Right.
So then we try to be more specific that in your target and your look and your quantity and scale, we propose these styles.
These are the options you have.
These are the options,
Right.
and that's how we start building the business. Yeah.
How does that differ from, obviously I'm thinking the markets in the US are different than Europe, where you have a lot of clients also. What are some of the trends that you see, and how often do they change?
You see, what happens is that there are different ways of doing businesses these days. There could be, some buyers could be making 6 collections in a year.
Right.
So that's fast fashion.
Yeah.
So every 6 weeks they want something new.
Something new, right.
And some of them could be just doing 2 collections. We have a good summer and a winter collection.
Yeah.
And some could be doing 4, which would be a pre-summer, summer, pre-autumn, and then autumn. Yeah. So considering that in Europe, because there are too many countries have very little population.
Right.
So let's say Denmark is only 5 million.
Right.
Norway would be 6 million. See, Sweden would be around 5 to 7 million.
Yeah.
So considering that Europe is different, but then the quantities are smaller, but they're paying you better.
Of course.
Yeah. And they want good trends, nice quality. You come here to the United States, you see quality is important. Quality is important. Yes, because everybody wants good quality. Yes, but then if it's a wholesaler and he wants you to churn out something for, let's say, $3, I mean, like, there's not a whole lot you could be expecting out of you. But mostly between $4 to $8, they want their style to fall within that range. So you have to look for trendy things which everybody wants to buy, and yet they fall within their price range.
And you mentioned 3 countries, and in my head I was going, well, adding them all up, you're still smaller than California. Right?
Yes. Yes.
Well, in fact, even Los Angeles, we have about 20 million people just here.
But the difference is that they pay you better.
Right. Yeah. So, you're working internationally. What are some of the challenges you face, culturally or also, administratively, logistics, or, dealing with different cultures and different kinds of people?
Challenges were there in the beginning, like any business will start up. You'll have some challenges. You need to know the demographics. You need to know the culture of the country.
How business
you need to know
done.
When the buyer is saying a certain thing, what does he mean? Like it's a lot different between, let's say, between India also and in the rest of the world, in Europe or in the United States. We see that difference because there, when they say something, they mean it. So the challenge comes between us in our supply chain and our deliveries, because if we have a delivery X, we cannot give a similar delivery close to that to the supplier who's giving us the fabric or printing the fabric for us or doing the embroidery, because it doesn't work like that in our country. So our supply chain becomes a little stressed because people are more laid back. Again, in India, when you're putting your product in a particular city, you also need to know the culture of that city. Like if you put it in the north of India, let's say in Punjab, so people get up there at 12 o'clock. So like, and so you have to really know.
And then buffer it
how
in.
Because you're accountable. You're accountable to the buyer. End of the day, they need the product, they need the delivery. So it's a stress. It causes stress, but then that's you understand it already. So you have to work your schedules accordingly.
That's your expertise now.
That's an expertise, but not. I won't say that it's not stressful. It's still very stressful, but
But you know what you're playing with.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
What are your biggest markets, right? I mean, obviously it's Europe and US. Are there other markets, and even within US and Europe? Tell us a bit more about who your clients are.
Okay, so in Europe I work a lot with Scandinavia.
Okay.
And I work with Germany and with the UK. In the United States I'm working a lot on I do a lot of outerwear, not outerwear, but shrugs.
Okay.
A lot of accessories. I do scarves. I do very beautiful scarves. I do bags, soft bags, not leather.
Okay.
And so, the products are quite enhanced. Yeah.
Nice. What's your favorite material and color?
Material?
Yeah.
Yes. I like material which is sustainable, which breathes a lot. So I like viscose. I prefer viscose. What I'm wearing is also viscose.
Okay.
Yeah. It's flowy. It kind of falls with your body shape.
Right.
And it's breathing.
Yeah.
So I prefer viscose.
Any particular store you like to shop in?
You know what? I have a very eclectic taste. So it's not like, I won't say that I go to a particular store all the time. No.
Whatever catches your eye.
Yeah. What catches my eye.
And do you still do designs?
I still do design.
You do?
Yes, because like I said, I am in my company. My designers, they run through everything together. We run through everything together.
Right.
Because I travel, so I know. Even when we hire designers back in India, it becomes a little difficult. When we are doing the interviews, we ask them, how do you propose to design? And they say, 3 ways. We would go through all, to the net. We go through different shops, what they are selling. And then we go to shops physically, and see them. But I somehow feel that unless you actually travel to different parts of the world, and where the countries you're catering to, and you talk to people, you see people on the street, on the beach, or on the walking in the mall, then you actually catch the trends.
Right. Yeah.
So I ask them to, let's do it together. They run through everything with me. Yeah.
So you also had a partnership with, you mentioned Walmart, but it's more than that. They're not just your customer, right? There was a
I'll tell you, Walmart came into our life because you see, Walmart International, to get into this, if you are a supplier from India, you need to have a lot of different SGS, different compliances are very, very strong. It's difficult to get there. But the route which I took for Walmart was where my daughter helped me. Was we came into their women entrepreneurship program.
Right.
Yeah, because they are looking for women to be bigger suppliers in the Walmart chain. So that's how I came into the Walmart business. And I'm a supplier today, very happy supplier to them. It's been 2 years.
Nice.
And supplying to 27 stores I just mentioned in Walmart. And let's hope it takes off. Another thing is that I do see within India and also other parts of the world, so I see a paradigm shift in demographics all over the world. There are more and more women coming up, walking shoulder to shoulder with men, trying to do things, not just be housewives. They're coming up with all their pent up creativities, and now they know that the world is an open arena.
That's awesome.
And there's a lot of talk, and you find mentors. Like I wouldn't mind if somebody came to me and said, look, I want to open a business and can you mentor me?
Well, on that note, we have a couple of questions. So one of them is there room for more players in the fashion industry, right, per se?
I was talking to some people yesterday. Not a very good answer to that one, because that person had, this buyer had 2 sons, and he wasn't encouraging his sons to be in the business. Neither was the sons wanting to be in the business.
Because it's too competitive?
Although this particular buyer is doing very well, but somehow. So the reason is that, this business is actually people, all the smaller companies, they're collaborating. They're coming together because expenses are very high.
When you say collaborating, this is not consolidation. They're still independent, but they're kind of shoring up their
both
resources.
Ways. Now that you talk, it's both ways. They're collaborating and there's consolidation. Both is happening. So earlier, if I had 3 buyers, I suddenly get a newsletter saying now we are 1. So you're like, okay, so you're 1.
Which is not good for you.
Which is not good. So considering that, is the business growing? I won't say, because it's in the hand of very big players. Very, very big players. And as you know, Amazon is the biggest player, and we don't know. It's like so big, and the way it's moving and scaling, it's looking really huge.
Scary.
So I would say that the business per se is not growing, but if you're a designer and you have that creative instinct and you want to create a line and you want to create a brand for yourself, there's always space. Because people want new things, in their life, and fashion is all about being happy.
Yes.
Isn't it?
It's an expression of...
So it's not like churning out a huge, millions of pieces. So there are all kind of people in the world, So there's always space. But if you say it's fast moving, I would say no.
Okay.
No, it's not very fast
growing
moving.
Crazy fast, or
no,
it's
there,
not. Right.
Will you be able to find new buyers?
Sure.
Difficult. Difficult.
Yeah.
Like we talked about collaboration and consolidation. And then you go around knocking doors.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Right.
Because not new companies are not coming up, and the bigger companies are doing well.
Right.
Yeah.
Another question we have is, do you network with other women entrepreneurs, which I know you do, but and then how helpful is that space? So maybe talk to us more about, you gave me a great example about this young person that you influence. So maybe share a bit more about Asreen and your interaction with her.
Okay, yeah, that's very interesting. I am called to a lot of women panels because having been in the business for so many years, it's important. I think after a particular time, there's an obligation. I feel an obligation to be actually guiding, to be helping. If anybody needs mentorship, to be showing the way. Because if you're the time which you would waste otherwise in just finding out things, I can just help you to understand how it will run.
Guide them in the right direction. Yeah.
So I was called to the Borneo Convention Center in Malaysia, in Kuching, and this was the World Islamic Forum, and I was the only picked up from India to be there on the panel. So there were 3 people. There was me, there was a girl from Malaysia, and there was one from Europe, and we had a moderator who was from the government. So there were these lot of questions about how we do it in different countries, and the challenges we face, the solutions we look for. And after the conversation, which was about for 45 minutes, I was just going down the stairs out of the center, and I meet this girl, and she says, "Hey, can we sit and chat?" And I could see that spark in her eyes, and I could feel the need in her heart to make conversation and to get some things cleared. I said, "How about tomorrow?" Because I had a dinner that day. And next day we met, and she says, "I've been really inspired by what you spoke on the panel, and the challenges you faced, and you didn't give up."
Right.
So I asked her what her interest was, and we kind of took a paper and pencil. I said, "Let's make a little thing about what's going on in your mind." And we put it all there, and after that we had a coffee, and she went away. Next, about a month ago, I get a a WhatsApp message from her, and she says, "Can you believe that I opened my brand, my label, and it's come on the Malaysian Fashion Week.
That is so awesome.
And I heard you speaking, and also remember that you said, Asreen, don't just hear me, don't just listen.
Do something about
it. Implement it." And she says, "Now I've done it." And I said, "So that means you listened to it?" I say. She says, "I listened, and it just went through my heart, and I'm sharing this with you." And she is also from the, her parents are the top officials there.
Yeah.
So it's wonderful. I mean, you touch one life and you feel like, wow.
You feel good inside.
Right? You feel so good. You feel so good. Yeah. And especially because when I started this business, I didn't have a mentor.
Right.
There was no concept of a startup. I mean, the word startup wasn't
Didn't
there.
exist.
So it was just like, you just start off, you just start off. And you just do things by default. You fall, you get up, you fall, you get up. So it takes a long time.
But you keep going.
You keep going, yes. So there are learnings from my story.
And you're passing along that spirit on to the next generation, right? So
to the next generation, I would say, think out of the box. You know that game we have, that crosses and zero.
Yeah.
So you have that tic-tac, the cross zero. Now you make a cross or zero out of the box. Reach there.
Yeah.
So don't give up. Never give up. we've heard this, but it actually means is not giving up, means is that do your work, whatever you're doing, do it with the metaphysical aspect also in your life. Meaning, everybody cannot be a Bill Gates.
Right.
Everybody cannot be a Warren Buffett. Yeah, we can have the determination to succeed, but if you fall, get up and keep the metaphysical, because there's a lot of cosmos around you.
Right.
Some part of destiny also with you, because you're born in a particular country, born in particular place where there are certain rules where you cannot do things. So those things you don't have control on.
The macro
surroundings. So keep on, have the determination, keep on going, and don't think that anything you did, whether even if you didn't make your millions and billions, that it's waste, because nothing is waste, because your you did what you wanted to do. Because end of the day, even if you are the wife of a billionaire, what have you really done? Where have you really put yourself? You just enjoyed your life. And for some people it might be a very big thing, but I don't think so. That gradually in life you feel very kind of, what have I really done? So just do what your heart says and go on.
So the message there is, what I'm hearing is contribute with your heart, right?
Contribute with your heart, fulfill your dreams, keep walking, try to reach that dream, fall, get up, try to reach that dream.
And if money comes, that's a
comes,
bonus.
It's very good, because it mostly would come, because when you're working hard it comes. But when I say your dream is to own maybe 50 million and you're not able to do it, so don't lose heart, because a lot of other things around you also matter.
Matters,
where you're born, which country you are, etc., etc.
So you mentioned a new line that is coming up, and you also have another startup, right, that you're a co-founder for, Dazzle. So
yes.
Tell us more about that.
The new line is we call it Stress Rise. So we are going to be, it will be gradually, you'll hear more about it. Dazzle is a startup by my daughter.
Okay.
She's made a IoT device, which does a lot of things.
But it's
and she's looking for collaboration in that. She's looking for people. She's looking for a co-founder also in that. Somebody who has the right expertise, who has a technology with them. Because what this device will do is it'll people who have dementia, Alzheimer's, they'll be wearing it, and they'll be mapped.
I see.
And if they the caretaker loses them a bit,
they know where to find them.
It'll start working. I'm sure there must be a lot of devices, but on this, but this is a very innovative device in the sense that it's very beautiful. And the person who's wearing it, even whether he understands or not, he would still feel very great about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice. So you're a co-founder. I believe you guys have you've done some fundraising, you have some partnerships in place, and it's yet to be launched, right?
Yes. You see, the device is ready.
Okay.
But modifications are still going on, but that's part of it. There is some money raised for it. There are very, very interested people. However, to scale it and to make it very fast, because it's technology and we have to move very fast. So she's looking for a very bright co-founder.
Right.
Yeah.
Who can take it
somebody
to the next
level. Who has the right energy, who understands, who wants to be a part of it. Yeah.
That's exciting.
Very exciting.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you've done this for a while now. You've won several awards, the International Women's Entrepreneurship Award, and then the Udyog Ratan, which is a pretty highly esteemed award from the government of India. What drives you? What motivates you to keep going?
What motivates me? Like I said, I'm very focused. There's a bird called the peregrine falcon. It flies at 60 miles per hour. But when it sees
its prey,
the speed becomes 220. So for me, when I meet a buyer and I see the potential, I immediately know, how to react.
Nice.
So that's one thing. And also, one more thing which I would really like to share with everybody is that whatever you're doing, don't think that it's not good enough.
Right.
That it's not good enough. My startup is too small. You know, my neighbor's startup is too big. My neighbor started so much late and became so good. There's a little example, analogy, a story on this is this, you know, in the Aeronautical Institute, I was reading it the other day. See the pride. So there's this man who's sweeping the floor in the Aeronautical Institute, and the research scientist crosses him every day. He again crosses him that particular day and says, good morning, Keith, how are you today? So he says, working very hard. Sir, we need to put that man on the moon.
Yeah.
So for him, cleaning, keeping the place spick and span, organized.
He's doing his part.
He's contributing big time.
Yeah. So, taking all of that and, you know, bringing it to what one of my mentors
First, tell me
said.
something.
Yeah, sure.
Why are you smiling so much?
Well, because I'm happy about the discussion we are having. I relate to this. It makes a lot of sense, you know, coming from from my values and looking at it from, you know, having that need to be successful, right? Because you don't have an option.
Yeah.
Right. And
you don't have an option.
And to see someone who kind of came from that and has made it, it really excites me. Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's good that you're telling me. Those little things really matter to me. You're telling this to me.
Yeah.
Even makes me feel so, you know, empowered.
Yeah.
That message from Azreen.
Yeah.
I was like, wonderful. I didn't even think about it, you know.
Right. I mean,
but if you can touch any life.
Yeah, you took
that's
some
why I
time
say,
off and you went for
once
coffee.
All these entrepreneurs, once you've made it,
Yeah.
you have an obligation.
Yeah.
Your obligation stays to actually close the circle.
Right.
You know, in whichever way. We are not God, we are not very big, but we have to do it our way.
Yeah, you do your part, you pay it forward, or, you know, as they say, give back, however you want to say
And one more
it.
thing I wanted to say, don't ever leave your hobbies. We must discuss that.
Okay,
Nitin,
sure.
you know? Never leave your hobbies. Even when you're going through the thick and thin of life, don't give up on your hobbies, because that's what will keep the smile on your face always.
Well, look at this. I mean, that's a perfect example. This is my hobby, right? And this makes me extremely happy. This makes me meet wonderful people like you.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. I'm a golfer.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
Yes.
I'm not a golfer.
And I like music. I sing.
I love music. You sing?
Well, no, I sing. But I'm not a great singer, but I sing. I'm very fond of music.
We have 3 singers here, so we are having a party after
we'll
this.
have a party.
Yeah.
We'll have a party.
Okay. Right. We also have a dancer here, so okay.
They could be better singers, but I sing.
All right. That sounds like a competition.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's 4 singers. Nitin is a singer.
Oh,
Yes,
I don't know
4
about
singers.
The most humble one.
And you.
I'm the quiet singer.
A house full of singers. Yes.
So, tell me about times where you've been successful and what has been different about those times compared to others.
Again, your question?
So, the times
Reframe.
between you've been successful and not as successful, what has been the difference?
Times you've been successful and not so successful. You know what? I am a spiritual person.
Okay.
You know, and with this overdose of all the spiritual quotes you get every day via the WhatsApp, I do try to pick some in my life and I put them in my notes.
Okay.
I keep them there. Even if you open my notes, you'll see there will be some things there which I go back to. You know, I go back and read them. And today, the quote today, which is very profound, which I'll just share with you, is that if your problems are as big as the sea, don't forget that there's a maker there, you know, who's like the ocean.
Nice.
So try and leave some to him.
Nice.
Meaning, if you have apprehensions, if you have things which you cannot change, leave it to him. You know, so the times when you're not so successful, I just put behind me. I learned that.
Where did you get that from? I mean, is that something to do with how you were raised?
I think I got it even during my marriage, which wasn't working.
Like your low moments?
Because every day when there used to be a problem, I couldn't have survived otherwise.
Right.
I couldn't have survived.
Yeah.
I had to put the problem back.
Yeah.
But when I came out of the marriage, there was a period of time where I felt my memory wasn't good because I used to put everything back.
So much
everything
stress.
back, like, I don't want to think. I don't want to think about what happened, and I can't do anything about it, because whatever. But the other side, now when I put behind, it's not because I have a memory problem, because fortunately it's not, it's okay.
There are other things you want to
but
focus
it's
on.
like, if I cannot do anything about it, it's okay. Let me go find the next thing, what I can do, how I can do it. If this buyer is not reaching me, not answering, why should I just keep on thinking that why,
Right.
Why not now? Go scale, look for other things.
Go do something else and maybe something will move.
Yeah.
Okay.
Show more things to that particular buyer, or find more people to show things to.
Okay.
Find a solution. I'm more solution oriented now.
Then
So that's what's
focused.
happened between when it doesn't work and when it works.
That's awesome. What are you most excited about right now in your life? Like just looking
Laguna
at...
Beach.
Okay.
I stand there outside in the patio and I look at the Pacific Ocean and I say, we are like negligible, we are small.
Yeah.
Although we are an entity within a big entity within this whole cosmos, very important, but to relate to all the elements.
Right.
So I'm relating to the Pacific Ocean about the vastness of life, of how not to really, worry, because we are not here forever. Yeah, how to move on like the water.
Yeah.
So what I'm very, very happy today is being next to the Pacific Ocean.
Nice. Any final words of advice for other entrepreneurs or ones who want to become entrepreneurs and are, thinking and deciding?
I would say that, even if you're at the rock bottom, absolute rock bottom, if you have all heard of this bird called the phoenix,
Yep.
it rises from its own ashes.
Yes.
So even if things haven't worked in your life, you can just rise back and keep the metaphysical element very, very profoundly in your life. Because when things are not, and believe in the cosmos, believe in the energy. Yeah. Work hard, work very hard. I think for that, as an example, I would talk about Indra Nooyi.
Yep.
Indra Nooyi is so good, She, in this patriarchal society, she made a place for herself.
Yes.
She thought out of the box.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, my word of advice would be have dreams, have dreams, follow them, fall down, get up. Keep the metaphysical with you. If you need any mentorship, find a mentor. Find somebody who knows what you want to do and can, stop you from making silly mistakes, which you can avoid. Yeah. Give a lot of, be good to your parents. Be very good to them. Blessings matter a lot. My life is an example of being blessed profoundly. So, and, study hard, work hard. Don't just do what your friend is doing. Do a little bit of, understand what you want to, where you want to reach. Follow that education. A lot of people just do education. I'm so and so, I'm so and so. I see so many dentists today, none of them practicing dentistry. I mean, why on earth were you wasting government money and your time?
And your parents' money.
And your parents' money. Just because your cousin became a dentist. Like that. So, you should know where you want to reach. So try and do that. And be happy. Be happy. It's just, it's life, It's
Don't be
just
too
life.
serious.
Just flow with it. Flow with it.
That is wonderful. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much.
It was a pleasure.
What a pleasure.
Thanks. Well, thanks everyone.
And now we can
See you
have our
next time.
singing.
Yeah, we're going to go singing. See ya.
Yeah.